Alright, well I thought I'd better give you guys a bit of an update on the whole Land Rover situation. As you last saw, I was driving around New South Wales on a bit of a holiday. And when I got back I said I was going to chuck a new gearbox in. I did that and it broke in about 1200 kilometres. First gear, the drive teeth, the dog drive teeth on the main gear on first gear stripped just as I pulled back into my property. So I was lucky. I've pulled out this box out of the car. So this box was the original box that came with the car when I bought it from the auctions. And I was having issues of it jumping out of high range and low range gear, and that was all due to the high range, low range cluster that's in the transfer case here. All the bearings in it were clapped out. The box hadn't been modified correctly, so on the Army spec taper roller bearing setup, there is locking pins that sit either side into the case to stop the shaft from moving. This only had one, the other one wasn't missing. It was never put in. You could tell that they hadn't scalloped the side of the box out for the pin, and an oil gallery wasn't cut in the V of the box as well. So I've remodified this box to take the setup correctly, and I pulled out the high range, low range setup out of a 6x6 box that I purchased a while ago, and refitted that all to this box, and going to chuck it back in the car to get on the road. So yeah, it should be good. We'll see how we go. We'll get this one back in, and then eventually I'll rebuild the other one completely and have one good hunky-dory box. All right, so she's in there. The new boss is in the back there. Everything's torqued in nicely. I cut the slot for the pin to locate so it won't twist backwards and forwards. And yeah, now I'm just going to put the top cover back on it. Just got to sort out the locking tab for that, and she's good to go. But yeah, looking good. So I'm just cleaning up the plate at the moment. So just getting rid of the old RTV and sealant. So I don't want any of these bits and pieces getting in the back in the gearbox. So yeah, just give it a bit of a clean up, and then small squirt of RTV on it. Pop the PTA cover back on and tighten her up. So it covers back on, all torqued up. Just got to replace the seal on the end here now. The output seal was pissing oil, so that's the old one. And the new one, oh, lots of gearbox bits sitting in this bag. So yeah, put the new seal in there, and then replace the oil pump gaskets, chuck it back in for summertime, and fix the other box while I'm at it. Fuck. Alright, next step is to replace this output oil seal. So it's the seal that sits in behind the handbrake drum, and as you can see it's full of oil because yeah, so it was leaking. So going to chuck this new handbrake seal in and see how it goes. Before you install the new seal, just double check the inside of the area where it's going to be seated, that there's no damage. If there is, just get a small amount of emery, a bit of oil, and rub her out so you don't damage the seal when you slide it in. Alright, so I've got that rear seal in. I've done pretty much what the manual said, was to press that seal in just past the edge of this chamfer. So I'm hoping that was like past the edge of the inside of the chamfer, but yeah, I just placed the drive spline back on, and the outer seal does press in nicely against the edge here, so that seems like it should be right. Alright, like I mentioned in the other video, I've got to start pulling the gearbox out of this old girl. Unfortunately, I broke it in about 1200 kilometres, so it's going to run you through how I get it out and put the new one in that I've sort of refreshed-ish, just fixed a few leaks and hopefully stopped it jumping in and out of high range and low range. So yeah. Alright, so what I normally do is pull the seats and everything out, pull the centre plate out. I took the gun racks out, and the centre bit over the gearbox there is already out. So yeah, put the engine hoist through the window. I'll probably take the doors off, makes it easier, and put some lifting slings around that, and then use the car hoist to lift the car up and slide the gearbox out from underneath. I also have a pretty cool looking gearbox hoist slash jack that I might give a go this time. So maybe I'll just lift it up and then use that, but we'll see how we go. Well, I better give the car a clean first because there's stuff everywhere from the last trip. It's a mess. And I think there's food or something in here. For some pliers. Oh, this'll do. Got lots of these empty containers. They're actually hand cleaning containers that I put all my spare bits in. So just so I don't lose anything, put them in and I'll label them. That's got the wrong label on it, so I'll change it to a right hand side door. Yeah. Well, now that both the doors are off, I'll take the bonnet off as well. Just, it's easier to get into the back of the bell housing bolts if the bonnet's not in the way and all the crap, so bonnet takes a couple of seconds to pull off as well. So we'll pull that off and put that to a side and then lift her up and start taking tail shaft bolts out. Something you guys can actually do is grab yourself a 14mm spanner and grind it down, and that will help you get into the nuts and bolts on the tail shaft, because otherwise you don't get much play and it gets stuck in funny positions. So grind it down, make it look, just find a cheap one of those Adventure Kings ones, and get yourself a little ratcheting one, and heaps quick. They're a little bit mangled. Alright, the prop shafts are out. Now I've just got to take off the gearbox cradle mount there, the bit that goes across the centre. That's actually quite tight. I've got to knock it out quite hard. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Alright, that cross member's out now. The gearbox is now held in by the bell housing bolts and the gearbox mounts. So yeah, let's start off with the bell housing bolts. This is my secret weapon. Should have been using it before, but I wasn't. Anyway. Oh yeah, and sometimes I take the wheels off as well to get the car a bit lower so you can get over the top, but I can't be bothered today. Let's just get them undone. Oh my god, I got it out. It literally took me about 4 hours just then. That was ridiculous. It was wedged in there so tight and it had new gearbox rubbers and mounts on there. It was quite hard to get in the first place. And yeah, she's out. Thank fuck. So yeah, I'm just editing this video now and realised that I didn't really film much more. So yeah, pretty much got that gearbox, the new gearbox back in. I was under the pump because I was going away for the weekend, so I didn't really film too much more. Gearbox went in, yeah, but we had a few issues out on the road, which you'll see in the next video. So yeah, it came a little bit unstuck, only about, I don't know, 50-60 k's on the new gearbox, and yeah, ran into a slight issue or 4 or 12, which I'm still trying to fix. So yeah, fun and games. See you in the next one.